Hello, thanks for listening again to another episode of 177 Nations of Tasmania podcast. Now, in this episode, the focus is on Tonga, one of several small island nations in the South Pacific, east of Australia. It has a population of a little over 100,000, but something like 35% of Tongans live or work in Australia, New Zealand, or the United States. Now, my guest for this episode is Manu, who has a particularly interesting story, as he grew up over 50 years ago on a small Tongan island with no modern technology or communications that we take for granted now. And this has very much, I think, shaped his perspectives on life. Now, Tonga is perhaps best known for its rugby players, and rugby has played a key part in Manu's life, especially in helping him adapt to and become part of a new community here in Hobart, where he moved in 1986. Now, since that time, Manu's had his ups and downs, as he will tell you, but he's also held on to his Tongan core values, which seem to have helped him stay resilient through some challenging moments. And those values include things like respect, humility, and really living in and appreciating the moments in life. So I hope that will come across to you during our conversation.
I met my first wife in Tonga. That's how I ended up here.
So she was Tasmanian.
She was from Hobart, yeah. Yeah, that's 1985, yeah. I was working at the CV restaurant in Tonga, and that's where we met.
What was she doing there?
She was on holiday. And she came to the restaurant. We met at the restaurant. It was a very interesting incident because that particular day the restaurant doesn't open for the public until 5:30 in the evening. This was around 3 o'clock, after 3 in the afternoon. The lady stopped by and asked for some afternoon refreshment, weather in Tonga. So I was interested in it, so I went and opened the bar up without letting the management know that.
Okay.
So open the bar and get her drink. She wanted iced coffee and a piece of cake. So the management was surprised when I come and said, "Excuse me, guys, we got a customer." Yeah, that's how we met. But I remember here, and I share it with my children and my wife, how when I was 13, 14 in Tonga, I was dreaming about Tasmania.
Oh, really?
We were doing geography in the classroom. And as we're drawing the map of Australia, and as I draw the Tasmanian map, I was thinking, as the teacher discussed about the indigenous people, I thought, it would be so lovely to live there with these people. One day I was awakened to that dream that I was when I was a young kid, when I was already, so it's about 1996, 97, when I realizing that I had been here all this time, of the dream that I was dreaming about Tasmania.
How long before you sort of got together and decided to come to Tasmania?
So that was 85. Yeah, late 85, we met in New Zealand. I came to New Zealand and she came to New Zealand. We have some time in New Zealand. I went back home to Tonga and she came back here and we decided to come here.
What were your first impressions of Tasmania, do you remember? Or your first memories?
Oh, I was already shown a lot of pictures, a lot of, popular areas around Hobart and Tasmania as a whole before I came. So the most aspect of cultural shock that came to my experience was the people. There was so much the discriminatory and racism. I was very conscious of it and too aware of that. Still, there are a lot of others who open up and, more welcoming, manners. And but that was, I think that was stand out to me because I get into trouble earlier on with the law. People, getting racist remarks, and there's work and also at sports because I was play rugby. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but I was conscious of it, and it was not many Tongan here at the time. So my adaptability then was, it raising your consciousness to another higher level because, hey, you dream about you're here. This is part of, strengthening and reinforcement of.
So is that how you dealt with that the discrimination? You just tried to be stronger.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's the other side of judgmental and being racism or narrow-minded or things. That's the other side. Then remember, there's always the holistic aspect of it all. So we have all that. The opportunity arises. How that if we are conscious on it in a much more conscious level, our responses, the natural and innate responses from us to the outside world, the people, places, conversation and all that, sort itself isn't it? It's just amazing.
So you mean, I guess, at the time, it feels like a very negative experience, but over time you see it in a different way?
Very much. I suppose that, I was 25 years old when I came, so I've already been equipped and conditioning, culturally and very much from what I have from childhood on to that, family dynamics, determining, how we progress, given we still have our own self-determination and, whatever we seek out in life, but still everybody's within that strong family dynamic.
What was life like when you were a child? What do you remember?
Man, you think at the time, the experience at the time, life very much determined from season. The season for everything is truly, that's life, that's rules life. Because I was wondering why we go fishing early hour in the morning or late at night. It's just the time, that's just the time at that, high tide, low tide, early morning, right? It's different times of nature's adjustment, fish running, what kind of fish, yeah? Oh, it was just absolutely beautiful. Every day there's...
So you mean that life on the islands was very much determined by the nature, by the cycles of nature?
We are one with life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the life in the island, it's beach, swim every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, playing, there's nothing, no toys, no nothing, there's no light, no shop, no lollies. Bread, we'll have bread once a year, that's Christmas time. We see some bread.
Right.
We have some cake, pudding.
Yeah.
So we look forward to, part of the kids' life in the island, look forward to Christmas.
Yeah.
Something like pudding and cake, bread. Yeah.
So what was what was sort of daily life like as a child on a place like that?
Just playing. That's tree, climbing on tree. There's always fruit somewhere, and part of kids' activities, playing and getting fruit that we all gonna get. We bring a whole lot of fruits home, and that will be all eaten and sharing by everybody. And it's always, like I'm saying, the season rules or determining the way of life. Yeah. Because all then the tropical fruits come in seasons, there's all different wines, passion fruit, which is, sweet and fruity and juicy, and it's always things that we have to do washing the pots, wash the dishes, collecting firewood for the fire, because it's fire, everything cooking had to be firewood, yeah. Coconuts is just big, they always need coconuts for the thing. So kids' roles in a home is like collecting firewood.
So you had sort of chores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the fire, make the pot ready.
And did you have a big family?
You can hardly see any small family because that's everybody, yeah? Everybody. And so all sit down and it's life unfold. We can only deal with what we got and build from that, create, yeah, and progress from there. See, I never know until I get to the big island that there are cars. Yeah, electricity, stove, yeah.
Yeah, so you, so I guess people on the island had to depend on what was on the island and the people around them.
Very much. Just that.
So what did your family live from at that time?
Every family lived from the crops. Every families grow their crops, yeah. Taro, yam, hopa, all kind of banana, all different kind of taro, yam, all different kind of yams, for daily life. And there's lu, bele, all along there you have pineapple and, all the sugar canes. It's quite amazing. It's just the system of self-sufficiency in an island is just absolutely beautiful. It manifests our ability to create and initiate with our environment. Beautiful.
So is it like every family has their own bit of land where they can grow what they need?
See, like if you don't have what the other neighbors have, you ask for some there, so they will share with you what that pula to grow, so that you can have some. Is whatever kind of crops is that. So people sharing. Every household is, nobody go without anything at all. There's always hardly see any money. Hardly see any money. Never see any money at all. Money then was, one is banana and copla. Copla come from coconut. We were collecting coconuts. The procedure is quite, a lot of work involved. Collecting the coconuts from the bush, bring it home, split them, dry them in the sun, open up, then going into the roast, a little hut where they're roasting that. Yeah, it's called falenyu, as a little new mean for the copla, yeah, coconut. So throughout the island, that was the main resource of income.
And what was school like there?
It's so beautiful, eh? We don't know. We only know that what's in that little island, our little community. That's what it is, yeah? See, remember, we have no cars, no electricity, but life is beautiful. There's no worries for anything at all.
So I guess you wouldn't have had TV, or did you have radio?
Some households have a radio. Yeah, no TV. Yeah. Nothing. It was a very, very, like I'm saying, maybe that's what contentment is. I went back there in 1998. I have to go from here to New Zealand, to Auckland, pick my auntie up, 98-year-old auntie from Auckland, take her back to the island. Yeah, so my first time back in a long time. And I was telling the young people to keep our little island, island guys.
So you mentioned that when you went to high school, you went to the bigger island. Was that just because that was where the only high school was?
Yeah, that's just part of the change in the whole of the kingdom. Yeah, it's transition stages of education and growing up for a young child. Except if you don't want to get, any further education, and that's okay. And I suppose that's the phenomena all over the world, how education start to have some greater impact into people's life. Yeah? There's some greater differences in those who have educated and not educated.
Did you, to go to school on the island, was it like a boarding school, or did you stay with family, or what was the situation?
Yeah. How I was in the other island, I was adopted there by my aunties.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was growing up by my aunties and my grandparents, nannies, and when I went there to the other island, to the main island, there to my father, like when my first time in a car, I can't stop looking and watching up the things passing. It was what some experience. Eating like porridge and rice, different bread butter.
Right. And what was the biggest change for you with going to the new island?
Clothes, because it was given out the seats with infos before we got to school. Yeah, I remember very well. So I was 12 then. I remember every Sunday weekend I was just reading the list. I was fascinated by the tool shed and the handkerchief and the sword.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was thinking, where am I going to get all these clothes from?
So was it like the clothes you had to wear for school?
Yeah. Boarding school, that you had to be there for, the whole weeks. And, that handkerchief. We'll have a handkerchief. And things like that, having 2 pair of shirts or, having a pair of slippers or shoes, That's what I mean about how life is. Adapting and adjusting as we go, solidifying a particular pattern, as we progress. Become very clear then that life is about you and the outside world. My dad was one of the early Tongan people to come and further study overseas.
Okay.
He came with the government scholarship to New Zealand for the agriculture. And because Dad had that experience, he did want us children to follow through that. But still, no certain future ideas or what could be. It just manifests how beautiful life is.
But by the sounds of it, for a lot of young Tongans, you don't always decide your future yourself. It's decided by your family a bit.
Yeah, well, no different from any other people, families and cultures. Yeah, nowadays, how parents wanting betterment for the children.
Yeah.
Yeah. The earlier the children know what they want or what they would like to be, the better it is for, make adjustment and from the family as a whole. Because, education is always heavily involved with finance. And I passed to go to BYU Hawaii. I couldn't go because Mom and Dad can't afford that. So and I was the oldest one. I had to start work to help out the rest. But during the high school and college level, I was keep wanting to school. There was nothing in me to wanting to stop schooling. Especially me and my network of friends, we were in rugby. We play rugby together. Yeah, the enhancement of our school is about sports and rugby. And Tonga is always about the rugby. Rugby grade 1 all the way up to grade 5 and then seniors. But no certainty for career or anything,
So what did you end up doing after school?
Work as a waiter. Remember, the restaurant where I met
Yeah.
her was at the restaurant. How everything life unfolds in front of us, they said it's meant to be. I break my dad's razor and I have no money. I have to go to my friends and ask for some money. My friend was working. She was working for some Switzerland, people from Switzerland in a jewelry shop. And I go there to ask some money. Them Swiss people were friends with the German people who have the restaurant. So the German people asking the Swiss people to ask the girl to find somebody to come and work there. I come to ask my friend to ask for the money. She gave me the money. It was something about $6 something for the razor. She gave me the money and told me, can I go to see them people at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the German people. So I'll go get the thing for my dad, and I go in the afternoon to the dad. They just want whoever that was you recommended will get the job. So that's how I get the job. The German people, there was this coach from Munich came to Tonga to present something to the king and end up at the restaurant, met the German people. So they end up, the German people told him about me, that I play rugby. So he was trying to get me to come and play rugby in Munich and studying hotel and restaurant management.
All right.
That was my opportunity then. So there were a couple doors start to opening up. But for me, deep into my emotion was all about, because I love my rugby. I know I can go anywhere in the world and play rugby, and that will help me establish friends. Rugby season in Tonga is the most incredible time for all the school. Because boys rugby and then netball for the girls, yeah. But it's the most, they're fighting and everything around the town and around the rugby ground. And they're just part of the culture, yeah. So all the schools and kids are passionate about their representative
And so the rugby matches, are they like also a social event as well as sporting?
Yeah. All that has been helping out in Tonga for all these years. Japan was very clever about how they were. Japan there's 2 scholarships every year. Best players in Tonga. Look at that, how smart Japan is. Every year, the 2 best players, they're in the college level from this particular college. The scholarship in Japan.
When you came to Tasmania, was it easy to get involved in the rugby scene here? Because Tasmania isn't the traditional rugby playing part of Australia.
Yeah. Already, I was looking forward to it. And then when I first saw the rugby ground, I was excited. And where I work in town, there's people come and ask me about the camp where I haven't seen a rugby match, but I already started interacting with individuals from rugby communities. So I know then that, so my starting and engaging and involving within the rugby here in Tasmania was very, very good. Play with most of all the club around Hobart. Representing Tasmania is one of my highlights here. So you get caught up emotionally when they play the national anthems and all that. It's activating other aspect of your being, where your energy is. Yeah, I've done give a lot more back to the community that I fall in love with, and I gained so much since I've been in here.
And how was it for you in the first years in Tasmania? Were you how did you get work, for example? What did you do?
Yeah, I was one of 12 people that take part in the first tri-style course for hospitality. Yeah, first I was getting involved there because I work in the industry at home before I came. I thought there would be easier way for me to find some work. So involved in the course, I was on the news at the end of the course for mixing, cocktail and doing the course. And then applied for a job. There was a bottle shop attendance. Applied for it at, it used to be Errol Flynn, 251 Liverpool Street. Yeah, it's a hostel now. I was the 24-hour operator. I applied for the job. Not until almost a year after I got the job, I found out that I got the job because of my tattoo.
Oh, really?
The boss, Chris and Janet, who owned the hotel, there was another guys that they do LED light upstairs on the bottle shop, the separate business they were listing that part. But the boss telling them, and the boss didn't tell me until later that the boss telling them I come for the interview and he saw my tattoos and he said, yeah, that's the one. So I started there at the bottle shop 86. I was lucky to get $300 to $500 a day in the bottle shop. That's 86. 89, 90, I became number one beer outlet in the whole state. I sold more beer than any outlet in the whole state. And that's how I was the first 24-hour operator. We're killing everybody.
So I guess you would have met some interesting people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There were a couple of people, they were from the Broadmars area. They come every week. They come every Tuesday. So their day is a Tuesday. They come and have their weekly order. Yeah, but they bring me a box of vegetable, silver beet, potatoes. One day they bring me the suits, a $600 suit. There was $600 suits then. That's 1990. Yeah, because there was a Tongan family that came here, and I did help them early on. But their oldest son, he was a minister, and he needed suits. So his mother asked me, and I told her, I've got a suit at home. Perfectly fit. Other old couple that I used to, because he had no car, but he used to come pay for his beer. I drop his beer down. I used to go Sundays, have a beer with him and have a game of pool at his house. There's some lonely people out there.
Yeah.
Not everybody can assist and facilitate others in a much more open, invitational, engaging manners. But others who seeking out that from others, they know that and they feel that when they, yeah.
And it sounds like your background in Tonga helped you understand that.
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much how my whole childhood experience, it equipping you with that capacity level of adaptability and adjusting, yeah. I went to jail for 13 months.
Okay.
1 year, 1 month. Just a fight. We have a fight at the Mayfair Tavern, the rugby boys. We had during the, there was a time there was a rivalry between University and Kanoki. Yeah, and I took one of the boys' ear off. See, there was a Saturday night. I didn't know that was already on the news. A friend of mine rang me on Tuesday and asked me, did I go to the Mayfair? And I said, yeah. And through the interview, it gave my consciousness back into what did happen. And as he kept interviewing, it's taking me back to when I was known. You know what? Because my teeth was very sore. So then I know then what. So she questioning me in our conversation, and I'm dragging me back to what did actually happen. So we can really act unconsciously. We can engage in some actions like that unconsciously, given that we're still capable of doing such. But what I was fascinating about that, how can my lawyer wasn't thinking about that? because I didn't remember. How can I when you don't remember you don't know what you were doing? But I remember very well the whole night, how did it unfold, and it was meant to be. For my experience, I need to experience that. What I involve much more in the community, this is a very important aspect that I need to have some insight into. My wife now is the coordinator of the Moving On program. So we operate the first transitional program here in Tasmania for ward of state children. That is running under Kennelly Children's Home. Significant bridge for the system that's failing. The program, a place where the young people reach their legal age and still, learning, budgeting, school, meet them, daily obligation with no trouble, their rent and keeping their little place nice and tidy. And so we have been now through the years with more than 100 kids now, since we started the program. Very significantly transit into greater life. The biggest pattern we've been broken is a lot now of children who go to university.
Okay.
Gaining further education and totally breaking that cycle.
Yeah.
After I come out from jail, I had a lovely job, beautiful job at Cadbury's. I was the nut roaster. I roast the peanuts for the chocolate. And I got the sack from there, 95. I break one of the boys' nose, and he was one of the boss's boys.
Oh.
So I got the sack. From there, I know the only way for me is up, and that's to go back to school. Yeah, I've done the work. Now jail, now got the sack. That's bad reputation.
Yeah.
Seek out to go to school. I just sneak into because what I did want to do counseling. I always wanted to do counseling, just fit in and get a position at TAFE to do the diploma of the community services. But before I go to school, when I got the sack, I thought to myself that I have 15 years just to go to school. Doesn't matter whatever I do, whatever. Just 15 years to school. I can work and do anything else outside from school, but I must be engaging in some school work. Yeah? That's how I did get to school. And so the very first year at school, the teacher wanted me to write for this job. It's a family. That's the first family access program started in Tasmania. Was under Relationship Australia and was operated at St. David's, that little school there behind the Crescent Hotel, Murray Street. So I was the first support worker of the community access, the family access program. I fall in love with that.
Right.
The concept behind the family access is children with broken families. Children have the right to access both families. Children love both parents. Children's life determined from help and the growth and contribution from both, doesn't matter what, given what happened in there, yeah? That line is a forever line, it's a lifetime line from the child and the two parents. Nobody can bury that, doesn't matter what that costs, yeah? The present, you and me, we're sharing. We are one.
Okay.
With the present. That's the acknowledgement that like hello and our acknowledging of one another because that you and I were sharing this present.
Oh, okay. I've never heard it explained like that before. That's interesting.
Absolutely brilliant. Because we have to remember the moment is spontaneous, Carl. Mm-hmm. Every moment have its right to be acknowledging because it comes with its own certainties and uncertainties in that spontaneous flow of the moment. But the present, we are here now. The acknowledgement of good morning. Yeah, we acknowledge specific the moment. It's so beautiful. In Tongan, when you're doing that, you feel the extra vibrance of joys.
Okay.
Yeah, of how beautiful that we acknowledge our sharing this moment.
Yeah, okay.
The special of the moment because we're sharing it. One of the most important things in the Tongan culture is wa. Wa means our relationship with others. Mm-hmm. Because naturally we automatically have a relationship which have its own obligation around us. To your parent, to your sibling, yeah, to your community. It couldn't emphasize enough on how important humility in the Tongan culture, because that's how we talk. That's how you're acknowledging us. All that structured way of our interacting and way to interacting, and also in all different settings, it's very humbling. With this, it's a great asset to have that kind of knowledge. And if you can implementing that in the way you're interacting and in your everyday life, it's beautiful because others, especially kids who watch that, they're learning that. What we do, people, especially children, they're watching, they learn automatically.